This was my skin in 2020. This was the pandemic era when I chose to buy products that I didn't need. You know, the actives, vitamin C's, retinol, this, that, you know, slap everything on my face without being sensible about it. Honestly, I didn't know any better. And you know the worst part, I wasn't even using some protection. So you can imagine this made matters worse. If that were to be my skin again, God forbid, these are the steps I will definitely be taking. And honestly, they're very simple, just a few very important steps. First of all, I'll prioritize using gentle cleansers. There's no point making things complicated using special cleansers, in my opinion. Just keep it very simple. I will also prioritize the actives I use. I will check what my situation is, what my skin concern is. For example, I struggled with textural irregularities, so that means like tiny bumps. My skin was rough, it wasn't smooth, it wasn't giving glass skin, and then it had the pigmentation issues. For that, I will do a targeted treatment, which is to use Azelaic Acid. Honestly, then I started using vitamin C and everything. Vitamin C helped to an extent, but I would, if knowing what I know now, I would jump on Azelaic Acid. Azelaic Acid is just very underrated, but that product, honestly, that ingredient, it works wonders. It not only goes into, you know, the part of the skin that causes the cells basically that cause the skin to produce more melanin due to trauma. Basically, it could be from picking the skin, from the sun rays. It goes in there, azelaic acid goes in to, you know, tell the cells to calm down, to reduce, you know, pigmentation production, and as a result, the skin doesn't get pigmented. So it calms that down, it calms redness down, and then it helps to even the skin as well. And whatever goes to the source to target, you know, the pigmentation issues, what more do you need? So that's why I totally love Azelaic Acid. So, and it's so good for people who have acne concerns. It's almost, I would say it's quite a universal product ingredient that helps many skin concerns. So I would definitely be jumping on Azelaic Acid. Another ingredient that I would definitely jump on is either retinol, tretinoin, whatever, but most especially tretinoin. And here in UK, it is usually gotten through prescription. For me, I get it from Dermatica, so you can get it wherever you want to get it, but be sure to get like prescription based. Don't just get anyone off anywhere. You need to be careful. You need to, you know, go to a skincare specialist to advise you on how to use this tretinoin, but it is gold standard for me. Whenever I use it, it just makes a huge difference. It gives me that peeling situation where, you know, it lifts off dead skin cell, then reveals healthier, glowing, better skin. And you know, when you do this, when you sort of lift off that dead skin cell, or, you know, the sort of damaged skin, it enables other products you're going to apply on your skin to penetrate in better. Mind you, you don't pair your tretinoin with other actives. I'm just saying generally. And tretinoin, retinols, they're very good for people who battle wrinkles, fine lines, and everything. That is just one product I will say, if you want that, you know, baby skin, glass skin, jump on that. It genuinely helps. So like I mentioned, Azelaic Acid, tretinoin, and then the main part is to use broad spectrum SPF. I will not joke with my broad spectrum SPF as we speak. What I currently do is, now that it's summertime, I use my broad spectrum SPF, but when I'm going to be outside for quite a while, I carry the one that I would reapply with, and this is the stick one that glides on easily, because I do not want to go back to that situation, most especially because when you're using actives, you need to be extra careful because your skin gets photosensitive. So this is how I'll be incorporating it into my skincare routine. I will start by, so daytime, I will start by using a gentle cleanser, follow up with a hydrating toner. I know I didn't mention toner amongst the products I'll be using, but I do not joke with hydrating toners. This is very optional. Personally, I love my toners, so I will incorporate a hydrating toner, follow up with the active, which is Azelaic Acid, my favorite, and then I will end with a moisturizer and an SPF. But now that it's summertime, I do not use moisturizers because your girl gets greasy and it can get too much. So my SPF thankfully is very moisturizing. So that's it for morning time. And then for night time, like this, I have makeup on, I will definitely be double cleansing with an oil cleanser first. Take off the, massage the makeup, my face, rinse it off, then follow up with a gentle foaming cleanser just to ensure that I get off all the dirt and everything. I would then dry my face thoroughly and follow up with the Retinoid at night time. Allow this to absorb, then use a very rich moisturizer, because trust me, Retinoid can be very, very dry. You know what I mean? Drying, it can be very drying, but that product. So I always make sure to use a rich moisturizer at night, and because I use Retinoid, I don't use it every single night. It can be very, very strong. So that's basically it. Very simple, straight to the point. You see, it's basically, I think I mentioned 4 steps. This is what I currently do, and that is what has kept my skin alive, my skin glowing. And like I said, if that were to happen to me, that is what I would do. I mean it, no plus, no minus. But one thing I'm going to say is that when it comes to azelaic acid, there are different percentages, different concentrations. You have, I believe, I don't know if you have like 5%, but I know I've seen 10%, 15%, and 20%. I have used all these percentages, but my go-to is 20%. But I must say this, that product, is of a certain concentration. For example, 20% does not mean that 10% won't do the job, but that 20% hits the spot. But my face stings when I apply it, but I know that I'm going to get, like, the results will be very amazing. So I stick to my 20%. Ever so often I use 10% just for maintenance and everything. So be very cautious if you're trying to use 20%. That's just what I'll say. And then when it comes to Retinoid, if you haven't used it before, I would say start off with retinol, then you can build your way up, but be sure to listen to your skin and don't go overboard. Once your skin starts to get very sensitized, very sensitive, when you put something on, it stings, something even as mild as water, then you have to proceed with caution. And I would also say that it's best to seek a professional's advice before you get onto these very strong products like your Retinoid. Well, first of all, if you're in the UK, I don't think you can easily get it if it's not through prescription. And one place I'll say you can easily get it is from Dermatica. So it's just an online, they're online like dermatologists where you go, put your concerns, they will tailor your treatment to your concerns. I've been using them since the pandemic, and I'm still using them, and I tell whoever cares to listen about this. So consider Dermatica. I don't know what they have in other parts of the world like US and everything. So that's what I will basically say, and that's how I would tackle the pigmentation issues if that were to happen to me again. Let me know what you think. Have you got these concerns? Have you got any questions? If you do, let me know in the comment section below. And with all that being said, I'll catch you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.